All right, who would be harder to knock out for Errol Spence, Shawn Porter, or Danny Garcia? Before I answer that question and give my piece, to spit my piece, my synopsis on this, I want you to pause the video. Let me know who you believe would be harder to knock out for Errol Spence. So it's the Boxing Clinic of Morris, your boy CJ Goodfella back. Shout out to the homie, my nigga Trunks, who gave me this video idea during the live stream we did. It's a tough one, man. Shawn Porter ain't never been knocked out. Danny ain't never been knocked out. We know Shawn Porter is naturally the bigger guy. He came as an amateur. He fought at 165 pounds, I think it was. As a pro, he debuted at 154 pounds, I believe. Came down to 147 gradually. Danny Garcia is a guy who debuted at 140 as a professional fighter. Just recently, a couple years ago, moved up to 147. Danny Garcia has never been on the canvas, I don't believe. Shawn Porter got put down by a left hook from Adrian Broner years ago. Perfect left hook by Broner. It was a silver lining in a terrible fight for Broner. The way Shawn fights, man, I think he get knocked out quicker, man. He more susceptible to get knocked out. I think both have good jaws. I think Shawn might be the naturally stronger guy. But, he fights right. He plays right into Errol Spence's hand, man. By coming in straight down the middle, trying to maul Spence. That might put Spence on the defensive for a minute. And, Shawn might can dig up in that ass for a minute, no homo. But I think eventually Errol Spence will start, working Shawn, grinding and chopping at that little small mini tree. That little, what you call them things? Chia pets. Chia. Start grinding down that chia pet, Shawn Porter. I eventually think Shawn get knocked out just because of his style. I'm not saying that he an easier fight. I think Shawn has a difficult style for Errol for a minute, but ultimately he'll play into Errol Spence's hands coming to Errol. He might can put Errol on the back foot for a minute on the ropes with his wild flying elbow, full back, up the middle, full back lead, power O type of boxing offense. But ultimately, I think Errol Spence eventually is sparking him out early. He don't know how to survive, man. Shawn, he just knows how to be aggressive and how to be a go-getter. And I admire that about Shawn. I think Shawn will just, go out on his shield. He ain't going to go into safe mode. Now, Danny Garcia, he knows how to, he has a terrific chin. I believe that he's a good fighter. He's a good counter puncher. He can control distance very, very well. And I think ultimately for Danny, I think his style is going to survive a little bit longer than Errol. I think Errol being aggressive. I think Danny, he ain't scared of nobody. He ain't scared of nobody's power. I think sometime in this fight, most time in the fight, he'll counter Errol a lot. He'll still be in position. You see he got a good jaw from Matisse. Matisse was a fantastic, explosive, whip-lashing power puncher, cracking, and I think Danny would just box and survive longer versus Errol Spence. Not saying he'll have his fighter look more like he was winning more than Shawn. I'm not saying. I just think his style would be more of a survival mode type of style. I'm not saying that he would just, mill it in and no shit like that. I think he could just box, control distance, jab, move enough. I think he can counter, and I think Errol Spence will have a harder time, hawking down Errol Spence. I think Errol have a harder time hawking down Danny Garcia than Shawn Porter, because Shawn Porter gonna come right in his wheelhouse and provide a cracking of a fight. Will Shawn Porter prove to last longer? Maybe if Shawn Porter kind of fought like Danny Garcia, even though he don't. Possibly. I think Shawn is a physically more stronger guy than Danny. I think he could probably take a better beating, but Danny is a boxer. Benny ain't going to take as much punishment as Shawn will. Shawn is going to take some to get some. And in that fight with Errol Spence, the sum that Shawn takes back is going too much for him to handle. I think eventually Papa Porter is going to throw the towel in. For Danny, probably the towel can be thrown in for him as well, but I think he could box and control distance and counter good enough that he can nullify some things that Errol Spence do. He'll make it more difficult. He'll be a more harder Rubik's Cube than Shawn would, because Shawn's just going to come right to Errol, and Errol's just going to have they just going to have a war. Shawn might have better moments and more moments versus Errol, but ultimately I think, Danny Garcia survived a little bit longer. I think his boxing skill, his counter punching ability, his jab, the style that he brings to the table, it'd be a little bit more difficult. He don't move a lot neither. Like Levant moved a lot, And Lamont was just banking on moving in boxing versus Errol Spence, but Errol cut the ring off of Lamont, where a lot of people, don't know shit about boxing, like casual boxing talk, couldn't pay that no attention. But Danny can hold his ground. He can move just enough in box and counter. I think, he'll just survive a little bit more longer. But it'll be a good fight, man. I think if one of these guys were to last and go the distance, I would pick Danny Garcia. Just because of the style, it's more, more safety first. It's counter punching, it's distance. He's a more skillful fighter. And if Shawn, he's going to come straight to Errol, man, And basically, he's going to take something to get some. And we know Errol Spence is a bigger puncher than Shawn Porter. But stylistically wise, some OT talk, who would be the better fighter? It'd be Shawn. Shawn and Errol Spence might be some Hagler Hearn shit. Shawn might go out there, Kenny hype him up. You can outbang him, Shawn. You can do it, son. And he come out there and be a firefight. And probably be a 3, 4, 5 rounder at most. I'll give Shawn Porter 5 or 6 rounds, at a high pace with Errol. But possibly, you never know. Shawn could be, he's a bigger fighter coming down, just like Errol is, man. Shawn possibly can go the distance in a hell of a war, man. I know Broner put him down with a left hook, and I know Kell Brook was pasting him with straight rights and left hooks and jabs and shit like that. But, he took him like a G. And Shawn is a very durable individual. But make this a beautiful chaos and a beautiful war. Neither one of these guys has been stopped before, man. So that's the beautiful thing about it. Neither one of these guys have been stopped. Both of these guys are durable. Both of these guys have achieved a lot in the sport of boxing coming out the amateurs. And, I just think Danny Garcia survived a little bit more longer, in my opinion. But it's the Boxing Clinic of More. It's your boy, CJ Goodfella. Thank you for listening to the video. Subscribe. Don't forget, we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And we working, man. We working, we moving, we grooving. And we trying to take it to the next level. So, if you can't donate or like the video, just share it, man. Just share the video. And it helps us grow. And it helps us take it to the next level. And I guarantee you and I promise you that I'll never forget where I came from, no matter how far I'm making this boxing shit. I'm still going to be, for my subscribers first. I'm still going to be for the same dudes I came up with. We still going to grind and still do hangouts. I'm still going to reach out and do everything I've been doing before. Just going to be on another level. We gone.